Hi. New book. I don't know if you can see because I've got light there, but it's called The Age of Miracles by Karen Thompson Walker. Basically, as we all know, the Earth turns on its axis around the sun, and each rotation is 24 hours worth. Now, sometime in the near future in this book, the Earth starts to turn slower, leading to longer days and longer nights. And so the government decides we can't live like that, and they decide to transfer to something called clock time, which is no matter what it looks like outside, inside it'll always be the same time as it always was, therefore we'll always have 24-hour days. Of course, there are people who don't want to do what the government says, and they say no, if it's sunny outside, it's day, and if it's dark, then it's night, and they're called real-timers. So that kind of gets you thinking, like, what do? Who wants to go to sleep when it's sunny outside? Not me. You don't want to go out at nighttime. Like in the beginning of the book, you think maybe these real-timers aren't so wrong. We can adjust. You know, why can't we adjust? But then towards the end of the book, you realize it could be daytime for weeks, and it's just impossible. Plus, the sun got really bad radiation later on and kind of ruined everything. So you kind of think, like, what a ridiculous premise. The Earth's not going to suddenly slow down in its rotations, but that's what the people in the book thought. They thought it was crazy too. But it happened to them. I realize that this is fiction. As much as we know, and as brilliant as we are, we don't know the future. And we're not as brilliant can be. So we can't know that it won't ever happen. And it's just kind of freaky, a little bit, to think that it's a possibility. Now maybe some researchers out there are like, forget about it, it's not at all possible because of like this formula that I conjured up. And okay, that's great. Like, I don't want the Earth to start slowing in its rotation, but you know, something can happen to change the formula. Now, upon finishing the book, I thought to myself, I don't call myself self, that would be silly. I thought to myself, well, that was a pretty decent ending for a book that started that horribly. She couldn't really have finished the book any other way that would have been true to the book. So yeah, kind of getting mysterious on you guys, but I'm trying not to give it away. And then I thought, why did she do that? Like, why did she create this world that was doomed to fail? Now, I realize that this is fiction, but I still feel like she kind of created this other world that is like an offshoot of our world and exists somewhere in the realm of stories and books. That like out there now exists such a world where the Earth started to slow and like the people there are doomed, and it's just so sad that she made it happen. So was it a good book? I don't know. It was alright. As far as I know, it's an adult book. It's told from the viewpoint of an 11-year-old. I think it's kind of more young adult, but even as a young adult book, there are better ones out there. Still, even though it may not be like the best written book, it was pretty thought-provoking. It provoked thoughts in my head. I would read it and I would think, would I be a real-timer or would I want to go on clock time? Like, what would I do? Not amazing. You could read it. Maybe think about what you would do in those situations and let me know in the comments. Allow me to read to you. Not the whole book, don't worry. It's just the cover flap. Okay. On a seemingly ordinary day, on a seemingly ordinary Saturday, in a California suburb, Julia and her family awake to discover, along with the rest of the world, that the rotation of the Earth has suddenly begun to slow. The days and nights grow longer and longer. Gravity is affected. The environment is thrown into disarray. Yet, as she struggles to navigate an ever-shifting landscape, Julia is also coping with the normal disasters of everyday life. The fissures in her family, the loss of friends, the hopeful anguish of love, the bizarre behavior of her grandfather who, convinced of a government conspiracy, spends his days obsessively cataloging his possessions. As Julia adjusts to the new normal, the slowing, inexorably, maybe, continues. In case you didn't get all that because you were too busy listening to the lyrical lilt of my voice, I'll explain briefly what the book is about. So that was what the book is about. Goodbye. Who wants to go to sleep when it's dark outside? I do.